all of the dropping away is the ultimate gift of abundance, of intimacy, of clarity. I love the autumn, the seasons changing. You can feel it. You can feel it in your body. You can feel it in the energetics of the experience. And it really is a magical time. It's a time where, as you walk around and look at the trees, you see the leaves falling. You see the roses, flowers starting to die off. Things are starting to prepare to go dormant. This corresponds to an important aspect of realization, the willingness to go dormant, the willingness to let go. This happens in certain phases of realization, but it also happens in smaller, more frequent cycles in our experience. There is a time to let go. And in one sense, it's always time to let go, but you'll notice it's much more prominent in your experience at certain times with certain sets of conditions. And it's such a beautiful act to let go, or to notice the natural dropping away, dissolving, disintegrating. Of course, at some level of realization, disintegration and integration are not two. And yet the relative aspect of life shows us how beautiful the disintegration is. The letting go. What is it to let go of identity with thought right now? What is it to acknowledge those thoughts that have been keeping you in a certain daydream, narrative, problem, maybe shame, maybe rumination? What is it to recognize all of that and then just drop? Seeing that none of that's actually happening here. All of those chains of identity just being broken immediately, spontaneously, instantly. Dropping into, who knows what this is, this mystery. The dropping at times is the most prominent experience. The dropping, the relinquishing is presence. It is the nature of presence right now. The dropping of views, orientations, beliefs about who you are in your spiritual life, who you are in your relationships, who you are in your vocation, who you are in your internal world. All of these are views, textures of thought and belief and memory that are held in place by a certain kind of orientation and consciousness that feels like a backdrop. It may feel like a center. It may feel like you're looking out from it. But we may notice also that drops. The framework itself drops. The apparatus that allows us to make frameworks drops. The apparatus that allows us to take a position, to cast a shadow, drops. It disintegrates, which is part of this beautiful process. This may come with emotion, could come with a sense of grief or loss or sadness. It may not. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. But it is totally natural. I recommend everyone get familiar with it, with relinquishing, with unbinding, because we're really just unbinding from illusion. Nothing real is going to go away, because what's most real doesn't come or go. It was neither born nor will it die. But that's not the relative world. The relative world has birth and death. growth, decay, insides, outsides, better, worse. And all of these polarities we can let go of identity with. Polarities may remain, but identity does not have to get entangled. That's the letting go we're talking about. That's the relinquishment that goes very deep and very broad. It applies to everything, ultimately, which is kind of wonderful. The only way you can have a full experience, non-dual, without inside or outside, without 1 millimeter of distance from anything anywhere in the entire universe. The only way you can have that experience, and it's not an experience, just using the word, is to fully relinquish right now. Without the relinquishment, we're trying to accumulate. And the only place that we can convince ourselves that accumulation occurs is in the mind. So it's just mental activity, ultimately. So can we just drop out of that and drop into this indefinable, this mystery, this that has no name, no label, no parts. And it needs no name, label, or parts. It's always available. And the price for admission is relinquishment. Dropping, letting go. Seeing what's always letting go. Seeing what never holds on. Being nose to nose with the great death. Getting to know it intimately. And enjoying the fruit that comes in spring and summer, which is just part of the relative cycle. So let yourself be reminded by the changing of weather, changing of leaves, changing of forms. This is a beautiful time of year to remind ourselves of the naturalness of relinquishment, dissolution, decay, dropping. Lisa Carnes has a nice way of saying this, that the apple that falls from the tree could be considered a loss to the tree. Of course, a tree doesn't perceive that. But it's a gift to a life form. Could be life-saving. That's how this is. All of the dropping away is the ultimate gift of abundance, of intimacy, of clarity. So receive the gift by being open-hearted, open-minded, and open-handed as you move through this beautiful autumn season.